God, I completely forgot how stressful these films are. A Quiet Place, Day 1. A woman named Sam finds herself trapped in New York City during the early stages of an invasion by alien creatures with ultra-sensitive hearing. So yeah, John Krasinski gave us A Quiet Place, an interesting concept with a really good execution to boot, and then we had a fun sequel to match. This one isn't directed by John Krasinski, he has writing credentials, but it's instead directed by Michael Sarnoski, who only really has one other big title under his belt, and that's Nicolas Cage's Pig. Them franchising this, I can definitely understand why. It's something I've always thought about, you know, what the f happened in the first place? And this kind of gives us that? I'll keep this relatively spoiler free, but I think it's worth touching upon what people's expectations are. Being Day 1 in the title, you'd expect it to cover a wider scope of the invasion, the discovery of their abilities, and society's reaction to the immediate aftermath. And we only kind of get that. Don't get me wrong, I like this film, but it almost feels like it should be titled Day 2 or Day 3. We have the immediate impact of the aliens and them wreaking havoc in modern society, but then our character kind of passes out and we skip a bit into already being at night and everyone now knowing that silence is the key. And then the rest of the movie takes place like a normal Quiet Place film would, but only just this time in a different setting. And yeah, that's not saying it's bad. I think I'd have personally wanted to just see a bit more on the military sponsors and what the government's doing, for example. And we only get snippets of that. We get it from a character-specific level on looking at what the military's doing around us in New York City. Kind of like what you saw on Cloverfield, I guess. It doesn't really show us how we get to a society where we had John Krasinski and Emily Blunt's family be in the first Quiet Place. It's just worth noting, I guess. But yeah, moving past that, the film is really entertaining. The concept is great again and works great in cinemas. You're just so focused on sound, and we're met with new challenges we've not yet seen, like exploring pitch black subways or freaky aliens rampaging through glass office blocks. The new setting helps to keep this from feeling stale for the audiences, and they use the creatures sparingly again, which I think best works for suspense. By the end of the film, it does feel like we do get to see enough of them to feel satisfied, and then the CG for them is pretty good for the most part. Though they did definitely cheat code with this, using dust as a cover up. A lot of scenes use shrouds of dust from the wreckage to saving us seeing them outright, and also spending money on more CG for them and set backgrounds. And then unsurprisingly, the sound design is top tier once again. You're just trained to pay attention to every little sound, and they enhance it all to make you basically hold your breath with anxiety to see which noise is going to set these aliens off. It can be something as little as footsteps in the street or the bell of a cat's collar. I don't really know where else to put this, but the suspense is pretty well managed. It's not a horror so much as it is a thriller like the other movies, and the scares feel well justified, which makes this one dream sequence, which was just solely there for jump scare purposes, just such a waste. The movie was doing fine before that, it didn't need this. Yeah, moving past that anyway, we follow Lupita Nyong'o, who plays a very different character to our usual, and actually has a very different agenda, and seeing her traverse through this destroyed New York City made for a great base to start on. She makes a lot of smart decisions and has this sidekick emotional support cat, which I thought would be frustrating and cause a lot of problems, but I really enjoyed for the film. It's the most well-behaved cat I think I've ever seen. Overall, just really enjoyed Lupita Nyong'o's performance in this. She's then mostly partnered up with Joseph Quinn, who's great to see back again since his breakthrough in Stranger Things. Similarly again, his motives aren't very clear, and not that he's shady, but it's that he's just a character lost with purpose since the invasion, and it was good to see him go from being clueless and lost to slowly coming into his own at the end. Characters is something they've always seemed to have done pretty well in this series, and the same holds here again. The movie markets Djimon Hounsou, but I'll be honest, the dude was barely in it, which was a huge shame. Always want to see more of that guy. The bit he is in is good, but yeah, it's like 10-15 minutes of the film at best. I honestly think that's all I've got to say for this one. It's a definite recommendation from me, especially if you enjoyed any of the others. It does well to carry on that same decent quality, and it's just well paced. The runtime doesn't really feel that bloated. So that's A Quiet Place, Day 1. It came out on the weekend just gone, so let me know if you're going to see it, or if you have, what your thoughts are on the film down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe and all that stuff, and as always, stay tuned for more reviews on movies, anime and video games. Until next time guys, take care. Bye bye.